Hello, this is the impact of hearing protection and background noise on the voice of steam train engineers. I'm Desi Gutierrez, a graduate student at the University of Iowa. However, I completed this research as an undergrad at the University of South Florida under Dr. Supraja Anand, and we worked in collaboration with Dr. Pasquale Bottalico at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Occupational voice users are often exposed to excessive levels of background noise, and this contributes to their higher risk for phonotraumatic injuries. This relationship has been studied within the listed groups. However, it's important to note that between these professions, vocal demands and background noise exposure varies widely, which is why it's important to continue to study different occupations, including steam train engineers. Although steam trains are no longer in broad circulation, steam trains can still be found at select historical sites, theme parks, and museums. And these findings can apply to populations which experience similar industrial type background noise, such as construction workers and the military. Steam train engineers use their voice in a variety of ways, including descriptions of their environment, updates about machinery function, and coordination during emergency scenarios. And this communication is often above excessive levels of background noise. According to the US Federal Code of Regulation, average cabin noise should not exceed 85 dB, but certain noise, such as whistles, can legally reach up to 110 dB. And according to OSHA, within these high levels of background noise, steam train engineers are required to wear hearing protection. Within steam train engineers, we expect to see a Lombard effect, or how background noise triggers an alteration in speech production. In background noise, we expect to see an increase in vocal intensity and fundamental frequency. However, this increase can cause increased vocal effort and vocal strain. There are many factors which impact the Lombard effect, including type of noise, which is why it's important to study this authentic industrial type noise on steam train engineers. As previously mentioned, steam train engineers must wear hearing protection, which causes an occlusion effect. When individuals wear hearing protection, that alters the perception of their own voice, which induces changes in speech production. Looking specifically at intensity results, there are mixed findings within quiet conditions of the impact of hearing protection. However, in background noise, there are more homogeneous results suggesting a decrease in intensity as a result of wearing hearing protection. Notably, Kreider et al. 1946 looked at simulated engine room noise in college-age male participants. They found in quiet an overall increase in intensity by 4 decibels, and in background noise, an overall decrease by 1 to 2 decibels. This is important to note because they have similar background noise to us with that simulated engine room noise. However, our study uses authentic train noise, and we are looking at occupational voice users. Although the interaction between background noise and hearing protection has been studied, the goal of this investigation is to find the effects of background noise and hearing protection on the acoustic and perceptual correlates of voice, specifically among steam train engineers, for whom the results are significant. This study contained 13 steam train engineers, 5 females, 8 males, all with normal speech, language, and hearing, and they completed 3 tasks: a 10-second sustained ah, saying the phrase "we were away a year ago," and describing the path along a map from the HCRC map task corpus, an example of which is on the slide. Participants completed these 3 tasks in 8 different conditions, half with hearing protection and half without hearing protection. They were presented with 3 unique train noises, which represented different areas along a track, and here is an example. The spectra for these 3 sounds can be seen here, with frequency along the x-axis and the relative amplitudes along the y-axis. And as you can see, TR10 has the highest amount of energy in the low frequencies, whereas TR39 has the highest amount of energies in the high frequencies. TR23 is in between TR10 in both high and low frequencies. Here's a rendering of our experimental setup, where you can see the participant is completing these 3 tasks, speaking to the researcher. We had 2 objective measures, delta sound pressure level and delta fundamental frequency. These are within subject centering methods, which allowed us to evaluate the variation in the participants' vocal behavior in different conditions from their mean vocal behavior. We also had 2 subjective measures, vocal effort and vocal disturbance. These were measured after all hearing protection and non-hearing protection conditions, and they were measured on a 100 millimeter visual analog scale. Now moving on to the results of our first objective measure, delta SPL. As you can see, in the presence of background noise, participants had a significantly higher intensity level, and that difference ranged anywhere from 8.9 decibels to 10.3 decibels. Now looking at the effects of hearing protection, with the use of hearing protection, participants decreased their intensity by an average of 0.6 decibels. And that 0.6 is very similar to the Kriker 1946 article, which indicated a decrease in intensity of 1 to 2 decibels with hearing protection. Because we had 4 noise conditions, Tukey's post hoc pairwise comparisons were performed to examine the differences between all levels of the fixed factors of interest. And as you can see, all comparisons are significant except for TR23 and TR10. In order to explore those differences, we must consult the spectra. Looking first at TR10 in gray and TR23 in yellow, although they have very different energy contents in the low frequencies, there isn't any difference in how they're triggering the Lombard effect. However, looking at TR39 in the blue, which shows significant differences from TR10 and 23, the main difference is that TR39 has increased higher frequencies on this end of the spectrum. This suggests that the Lombard effect is most influenced by the high frequency components of the noise spectrum. Now looking at data from relative fundamental frequency, participants significantly increased their fundamental frequency in the presence of background noise by an average of 308 cents. And in regards to hearing protection, when participants wore hearing protection, they significantly decreased their fundamental frequency by an average of 67 cents. Once again, to compare the 4 noise conditions, we used Tukey's post hoc pairwise comparisons. There were only significant differences when comparing the background noise conditions to silence, and you'll notice the sounds with increased higher energies cause progressively higher fundamental frequencies. While comparisons between noises were not statistically significant, there is a similar effect in that higher frequencies trend towards higher changes in fundamental frequency. Taking a brief look at the perceptual data, participants had overall less disturbance than they had effort. However, there was a significant decrease in vocal disturbance as a result of wearing hearing protection. Since a majority of the research examining the effects of hearing protection on speech communication has focused on the listener, this study, in contrast, investigated the effects of background noise and hearing protection on subjective and objective measures of voice production. The study is additionally unique because it used authentic industrial background noise with occupational voice users. Without hearing protection, steam-trained engineers increased their intensity levels and their fundamental frequencies, and these results were amplified in the presence of background noise, which contained increased higher frequency energy. With hearing protection, steam-trained engineers lowered their intensity levels and their fundamental frequencies, and this was paired with a decrease in overall disturbance. Here are the references. Thank you.